Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Midyaifani and welcome to another edition, another episode of the Venda podcast. Last week we went to that thing. What again? By David College, Makwarela campus, we had an interview with the president, the outgoing president of by Makwarela David College. He told us some interesting things here at that interview, and then now we're back to our normal discussions, because at the beginning of this show, I think the first or the second episode, I mentioned it that we'll be doing interviews at some point. So I guess that was our first interview. So we really had a good time. We knew some of the things that we didn't know, and then I was so happy to have been part of the revelations that he was making, to be honest. So yeah, so today I'm hanging out with Mr. Given Moleka. Normally I'm with Puru. If not Puru, it's Patu. If not Patu, it's Anna. But today I'm with a different person. His name is Given Moleka. So, man, how's it?
I'm good, and you?
Myself, I'm very good, man. You know, since we are doing this podcasting thing, I want to acknowledge the biggest podcast in the world, which is the Podcast and Chill. I started following Podcast and Chill. I think it was late 2019. Yeah, it was late 2019 when I stumbled upon an episode of Scoop Marketing where McG was interviewing Scoop Marketing. Apparently, that episode introduced a lot of people to the Podcast and Chill. I'm a fan of Scoop Marketing. I'm a huge fan of Scoop Marketing. So I was just browsing through the YouTube, looking for Scoop's video, and then I stumbled upon that thing. I was like, God damn, which one is this one now? And then I started following up until I saw him interview Ginger Trill, Rato Kanyaho before this one. He interviewed Rato Kanyaho before. He interviewed a lot of people. And then, yeah, from there, I've been a fan. I'm addicted to that thing. And then one thing that I want people to do is to give that guy his flowers while he's still alive, because he paved the way for us. If it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have believed in myself to a point where I can take a camera, sit in front of the camera, and just talk about anything and everything. So shout out to him for making us believe in ourselves. And then we appreciate you, MacGyver. We appreciate you. One of the things that I want to do, or that I think it's in the pipeline, it's my dream. One day I'm going to host an event, and I'm going to book Sol Penduga, MacGyver, to come play the gig, and then thereafter invite them on this show. That if that happened, then I will know that I'm living my dream. Tell me, when were you introduced into the Podcast and Chill?
Myself?
Yeah, yourself, Chief.
No, it's been quite a long time, man. You know, I think it's last year. But I have watched so many episodes, you know, by the time when they were still using iPad. So that was the time when I started. It was last year, actually. Mm-hmm. Last year around June.
Last year around June.
But it was not that much popular by that time.
You're still there. Not popular.
I mean, not popular like what happened during that scandal of Jub, you know.
That one is recent, Chief. You're not a chiller yourself.
No, I'm not that much a chiller, but I've watched so many episodes.
I can tell you're not a chiller yourself, Chief. Hey, we've been with that thing when he interviewed DJ Sinclair. I think it was late 2019, early 2019, mid 2019. That's when he revealed that he was using an iPad, and you know that like the quality camera of an iPad is poor of the poorest, but he kept thriving. He kept going. He kept going against all odds. Look at him today.
He's doing very well.
He's doing amazingly well. The the content is always on point. So, shout out to him for paving the way for us. I can say he crawled for us to walk, because like people who did a podcasting before him, I think was Gareth Cliff, Thibaut Taj, DJ's Boo. but they were doing it in the radio formula. They were doing online radio station, and then he took it and then he just made it in the podcasting thing.
Independently.
My guy.
Without
guy,
anyone,
my
without
guy.
any finance from
My
anyone.
guy. He always tell a story about how broke he was when he started this thing. He had to sell his house, and then he used up all the money while like doing interviews, going around, and then look where he is right now, man. Look where he is, right? That's why they always say like never write a person like a living human being off. It's like
It's done, you know.
Look at him now. Look at him. Like apparently he's employed more than 40 young people who are working under the podcast.
40?
Yeah.
40 of them?
Yeah, more than that.
So which means the podcast is growing very fast.
It's growing. How many shows are there on the car podcast? I love that one. There's On the Table. Now there's City Girls.
Yeah, I know that. I saw that episode where we were talking about Jinimbi, that lady. Who's that lady?
Yeah, that's Jinimbi's ex-wife.
No, I mean the interviewer.
Oh, it's the Tobajan.
Oh.
She was once she once came on the show as a friend of the show, and then that's where she pitched the idea of city girls, blah 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 blah. She was acted on Bang if you know her.
I don't know. It was the first experience.
Yeah.
And the most interesting part was that she was talking about Jinimbi, and Jinimbi. Everyone knows about Jinimbi, the scandal and all how rich he was.
Yeah. So
that's where I was interested.
They brought someone who knows him better than a lot of people. That was his ex-wife, and apparently she's older than him. She was older than him because like he's no more, and R.I.P. to him. So yeah, he was rich, he was wealthy, he had all the money in the world, and then he was banging girls and all that. But she came and then she gave a different light into Jinimbi's life, because all people only knew the fleshy life, the cars, the big houses, the jewelries, the expensive clothes and all that. But she gave a different dimension into Jinimbi's life, which was very refreshing. I follow that channel. Like I'm addicted to podcast and chill. Tomorrow is Thursday. They're dropping. What are they dropping? No man, this thing when it drops, it's gonna be on Monday. So let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. So every Monday and every Thursday, I'm on the podcast and chill. I never miss the show. Never will in the near future, because like their content is genuine. They don't filter anything.
Yes, everything edited.
Just tell it as it is.
And that's what people want to hear.
Yes, like they no censorship, and I think we should thank the internet for that, because nobody owns the internet. It's for everyone. You can do as you want. Just don't disrespect people. Just don't shame people. Just don't speak about things you don't know. That will be offensive to the next person.
Yeah, it'll be like deformation of a character, something like that.
Yes, don't do that. You'll get sued, Baba. They will sue you. So the internet has come for everyone to do whatever they want to do. You can learn a lot in the internet. You can do whatever you want to do with the internet. So shout out to MacGyver for paving the way for us. Shout out to him for crawling so that we can walk. And then we also acknowledge the Gareth Cliff, the Tibo Touch, the DJ's Booth for paving a way for someone like MacGyver so that he can pave the way for us. So shout out to him for that, man. And while we're still on that, man, the past week was a very sad week for South Africa, for Venda in particular. We lost a giant in the music industry. We lost someone who I didn't know him personally, but it was my dream like to meet him on a personal level, because whenever I see his post, whenever I see his Insta lives, whenever I saw him on stage, his energy was, I don't even know how to describe it, man. He had this positive energy wherever he goes, in whatever he does. He was always willing to give. He was always willing to push the next person to become the better version of themselves. Talking about makhado, the legendary musician in the country, has left us, and we were all shattered. We were shocked. I think particularly by the fact that he took his life. He took his life. He His last tweet was like, I'll return a stronger man. This land is still my home. It's like, God damn it. How did you find out about the news, and then how did you feel about it? Because like Ricky, even if you're not a fan of hip hop, but you would know the type of person he is, man.
No, I understand hip hop. Hip hop is my language. That's what I like. But as far as this issue of Rick, it's concerned, to me, it's very painful because we were not expecting to lose him very soon, especially to the family and the children and the wife.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be a struggle. That's the only pain that I can say now, Uri. I feel what they feel because I've been there before. Losing someone very close to you, it's like the end of the world. So I can feel what they feel. I can put myself on their position and understand the pain that they're feeling, because I once feel that thing and I'm still suffering that kind of pain. So whenever someone is dead, I'm still suffering the same pain that other families are suffering. Because you know, it never vanishes in your mind. It's always there. One simple thing, you are missing something, you remember those people. So to me, it's painful because as I know him, he play a role in a race, major leagues, and Calvinis. These young growing musicians who were doing well recently, he play a role there.
A huge role, man. He was that one guy who was always putting people on. That was Ricky. He always wanted to make sure that whoever come to his space, like, leave his space as a better person. I saw a video from Slick Talk. He spoke about how Ricky called him when he started. Like, yo, bro, I see what you're doing. You're doing nice. So why don't you start a show together? For whatever reason, Slick Talk turned down the deal, and then it was his decision. We can't question that. So the passing of Ricky, man, has came with a lot of questions. You know, mental health is one thing that I feel is overlooked.
You know, I always talk about this industry of music. It's fantasy, you know. It's
not even a music industry, the entertainment industry
yes,
as a whole.
It's a whole. You need to impress people. You need to show people that you are doing well, even though you are not doing well. These things of endorsement, you work even overtime. You don't have time to rest. You don't have time to do things. You are always under pressure. And somewhere, how when you are failing, people will be busy mocking you. And because they don't understand the pain that you are in. They feel like you got everything just because you are a celebrity. Being celebrity doesn't mean you have all those cars you see in the music videos. You see those kind of things that I'm portraying.
The flashy lifestyle.
Yes. So that's the problem, that we as people don't understand that celebrity are also human beings. They are failing somehow and they need help. We don't think like Uri, they don't suffer mental health, they don't suffer health problem, you know, physical health problem, emotional, spiritual. We think like Uri, it's all about poor people, and it's not about poor people. As long as we are living in this world, we face so many difficulties. At some point, we don't know how to overcome them. We always think like there is a way out, but if the same thing it's lasting for years and years, you can tell that sometimes you lose hope that there is no solution for this problem. The best way is to end my life. So because I don't want to bring shame to my family. You know, that attitude where, you know, man, there is this thing that I saw this guy post story. If you're a man, it's either you can come out and talk about things that,
yeah.
and then you become a meme.
Is you open up, you become a meme, and then you keep quiet.
You become a memory.
Exactly.
So it's really true, those things.
You know, it's a stereotype thing, because once you are a man and then you show your weaknesses, immediately you get emasculated by people who are witnessing that. You know, how he's weak, how he can't handle life, blah 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 blah. I mean, it's tough.
Too much.
It's tough. especially dealing with the pain that you can't control. Internal, like emotional pain, is one of the worst pain ever. You can't do nothing about it. It's internal. You can't touch it.
But what I believe in life, there will be always depression in everything we do. But the best way is not to end our life, because we still have people who love us regardless of what we have, regardless of what we do, regardless of how shame we bring to the family. But they still love and care about us. We have mothers, children, wives. You know, if you end your life, you must think about, before you took your life, think about those people.
I hear you and understand what you're saying, but such a pain becomes so severe to a point where you can't handle it. And I'm not promoting people taking their lives, but it sometimes suicide feels like the only solution. You've tried. Ricky has money. I'm pretty sure he went to therapist. He sought help in different institutions, and I would love to believe that didn't help.
For that, I'm not sure, but I can only empathize on that, the issue of saying, no matter the challenge you are coming across, no matter whatever you are facing, no matter the challenges that you are facing at that particular time, don't think about ending your life, because you are causing more pain to the people who left behind.
True.
It's like a curse now. Since Ricky took his life, how many people they've been ending their life like nobody business? Just check the statistics. We have more than 3 students from University of Free State. They've already took their life. So if you are a celebrity, each step that you take, it has influence on general people. So you must know that if I take this path, there are a lot of people who are going to copy my lifestyle. You get the point?
I hear you.
So it's not all about you as individual. It's all about the whole society, the impact you put. Most of people rely on Ricky, how he play roles. When they see that the giant that they were depending on has fallen, do you think they will still have hope for the future?
Nah.
If we are saying now, Ricky has played an important role in grooming a lot of young stars to become what they are.
Now
Even in Amapiano, he has played a role there. In Major Leagues, he has played a role there. In Aries, when Aries quit Ambitious, he was the one who took Aries there. So you can even tell that.
Chief. No, stop misleading people.
But he played the role there.
No.
He didn't play the role there.
No. He just featured him after the Ambitious saga.
But what happened there?
What happened? Wait.
Because he was no longer having the value that he has before, when he was still in Ambition.
My guy, if you wanna get in that debate with me, we can talk about this for an hour. So let's not deviate on that. What happened with Aries was that he left Ambitious, he became independent, released his album from Something From Me and Only Me. Then after that, when Ricky featured him, he didn't feature Aries while he was still in Ambitious.
Yes.
Because apparently Ambitious had this policy that you're not supposed to, like, they choose who you must feature.
Yes.
That's why Ricky couldn't get hold of Aries at the time.
Yes.
He only got hold of him after. You get my point?
Yes.
So yes, Ricky played a role in a lot of people's lives, but the one of Aries,
why can't we discuss how did he play a role? Did you know how many people have Ambitious maybe end their contract? Let's talk about Java now. Do you still hear about Java after the Ambitious saga?
Yes.
A lot, like the how he was popular before.
Here's the thing about me. I listen to music.
Yes.
Regardless of the environment.
Yes.
After Ambitious, Java has released 2 albums. You can do on all the DSPs. You will find those albums. Great albums. The last album he released while he was still in Ambitious, I think, was Chilll, where it had Confession, Linda, all those big songs.
Yes, I know
then
that.
After that album, I think it was called Imbuzi. or the artwork, he was holding a goat.
Yes.
And then this other EP again. So Java is still out there.
It's still out there, but in terms of majority and the popularity, the how we know it. Even, you know, okay, let me give you an example of things that I'm talking about.
The streams are talking for themselves, Chief.
The
statistics, the streams.
Yes, what are they saying?
The streams are he's certified gold. This album that he released after Ambitious.
Yes.
Yes, he's certified gold.
But my empathy is that many people after they end their contract with Ambitious, like MT, A-Race and all these Java
True.
They
Ambitious is a powerhouse, Chief. Ambitious is a machine.
So you need like some other people to groom you up.
Yes, you like when you are ambitious, like you have everything. This marketing team, there's photographers, there's production, there's everything. They do it for you. But when you're independent, you got to figure it out yourself. You got to figure out everything by yourself. And it's not easy because you are one human being. You don't have the resources, you don't have the money.
So, but you can agree with me, or it plays a role in terms of bringing him back to the market.
Yes, Ricky, yes, play the role. I know the song. It's called Pick Me Up.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to emphasize. That's how he play a role.
Yes, he played a role. He played a role. Yes.
So in terms of the things that you're talking about, or he has released the albums, and I understand that one. Yes. But if I can talk about Ricky, how he play a role in the music industry to the young people and other peoples.
He put a lot of people.
He put a lot of things. That's what I'm trying to say. A-Race, he also played a role. After that Ambitious saga, he has up to take him and play a role also, so that you can boost him confidence. Like in Ambitious, you are used to like, now I'm just a singer. They will do everything for me. You see?
I get you.
The lifestyle and the old stuff. Now you have to figure it out your own self. But you need people who are doing it independently without other people. How they do it. That's how I'm saying, or he play a role. Because if it was not other people, it was not going to be there. But for this topic, let's cut it there. But what I'm trying to emphasize is that he has played a role.
You know, to show that the pain that he was going through was bigger than him. Cotton Fest tickets were sold out. Still sold out. I don't know if Cotton Fest is still going to go on. That's one thing I don't know. But I think it's going to be a tribute to him. You get my point?
Some of the decision like that, ne?
Yes, Ricky had a team, obviously. There were people around him. There were people who planned with him. There were people who were working with him, obviously. But he was the main guy in that. He was the main guy in everything that was happening. Cotton Fest wouldn't be what it is if Ricky wasn't Ricky. I don't know if you get my point.
No, I understand you. But that one, the team and the family will decide on or whether the Cotton have to continue or to stop.
There's a lyric where if I die, my niggas carry on. Let's just hope his team carry on with this.
That's the kind of message he always portrays. Love, caring.
Hey Joe, if I die,
he don't want people to give up.
Ricky.
You don't want people to give up. And the most thing that make me feel more agony, it was when he was being interviewed. He didn't expect to live more than 25 years.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that one pains me a lot. Yeah, I was been thinking about suicidal thought all along until he finally made a decision. That's why it pains me a lot. How can someone like him and his life, he got everything. Then I realized that you can get everything.
You see, that's where most people make a mistake. Just because you have everything doesn't mean you're not subjected to pain. When he said he didn't think he would make it past 25, obviously he was going through what he was going through at the time. But he lived past that. I think he was 30-something. He lived past, and that, by the way, that was his show. It's called Lab Live. I don't know if it will continue, but even if it does continue, it won't be the same because he was the show. He was the host, was the producer, was the everything on that thing. So we must scrape away this thing of saying just because you have money, you can't suffer depression, you can't suffer mental health. Look at that girl, the late Anneletem, aka his ex-fiance. Apparently her father is a billionaire in KZN. The guy have everything, but she committed suicide. So having money does not mean that you can't have problems. You can't have mental problems.
My problem is when you are taking your life when you are a parent. And you are still having children who are young, who are growing.
But as a parent, you are a human as well.
You
feel the pain.
You are a human, but you must have that spirit of enduring until the end. Until God say, now is your end. You don't have to take your life because family is important. The only pain that it will continue to live within the family is that one that my father has hanged himself because of the pain he was coming across along the journey of life. So it's always in here, and it's painful growing without all parents when you know that they were having opportunity to live until maybe I am 25 years, maybe 30 years, for example.
I understand your standpoint. I understand where you're coming with this. And you have very valid point. Absolutely spot on. But we must also look at this thing from the person who's feeling the pain. I'm not disregarding your point, not at all. But we must also be considerate of the person that's going through that pain. You get me? So I remember his lyrics, man, from, what's that song? Fusek, where he was featuring Casper and Anati. We go like, shout out to my niggas in Venda. Shout out to all the makhados. Yo, it was one of my, I remember it was 2016, I was listening 2016, it was one of my favorite songs just because like, he shouted like, shout out to my niggas in Venda. Shout out to all the makhados. He acknowledged that, you know what, I'm from the north. And
the fruit of Eden. Yes,
I'm from the north, and a lot of people didn't know that his surname was Makhado, like Makhado, from the north, Limpopo. So, my man, may your soul rest in peace, rest in power, man. Your legacy will carry on, as you said, and then till we meet again, Mr. Makhado. We've never met, but I hope we'll meet in the next life. So, hey. This is very touching. It feels like I knew him personally. That's how much impact he had. I feel like I knew him personally.
Yeah. It's very painful.
As we get to the next point, I don't want us to dwell on this point because I don't have much. I tried to read up on it, and I still don't understand much of it about it. The only thing that I'm getting from this is like we suffering the impact of that. This Russian-Ukraine thing. Petrol just went up yesterday with R1 something. Apparently, it's the results of that. Again, Russia is the biggest supplier of fuel. So now a lot of countries have banned trade with Russia. So as a result of that, we are suffering now.
Yeah, that's the impact of war. Yeah. When in English they say when two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffer the most.
Ukraine is not an elephant.
No, Ukraine it's an elephant. You know what? Okay, let's try to analyze the issue of Ukraine and Russia. Remember, Ukraine and Russia are like neighborhood.
Yes.
They were once in Soviet Union. Exactly. Before they go separate ways. Once they were in Soviet Union, which means they were one. The ideas they have, they were one. The resources which is in Ukraine are more the same. more or less the same. There is no difference in it, right?
Yes.
Russia play a big role in energy, gas, supplying of gas and all this stuff. And ammonia nitrates, you know that Russia export more than 60% of ammonia nitrates. You know what is the use of ammonia nitrates? For the fertilizer.
Fertilizers, yeah.
Yes. So you know now it's going to impact us on even on food. The food will have to increase because of the shortage of supply of ammonia nitrates. So in this war, as far as Russia is concerned, Russia has nothing to lose.
I think they have a lot to lose.
No, the sanctioning to them, Putin knows what he was doing. Sanctioning to him, it's meaningless. Because you know that he owns the country.
Yeah, we need him more than he needs us. Because he supply a lot of important things like gas, as you mentioned, fuel and what. So if you're not gonna work with Russia because of this thing, then your own economy is going to suffer, and he's gonna just say
yeah. You know what spiked the war between Ukraine and Russia? It's only one thing. We were once brothers, and we still brothers.
Yeah.
Our forefathers fight for these other countries, with Germans, USA, they never liked that country. They died for this country. Now you want to join NATO. Why do you want to join NATO?
Isn't Russia part of NATO?
No, it's not part of NATO.
Ukraine is also not part of NATO.
No, they wanted to join. They want to join.
Okay.
And remember, NATO is all about Australia, USA, UK, Germany,
European countries.
Most of the European countries and USA. So what happened when Ukraine joined NATO? There is what we call, what is the main aim of forming NATO? Is to develop the country, to promote peace, to also promote good relationship, which means importation and exportation of goods. It's going to play the roles.
NATO is like that embarking BRICS.
It's like BRICS.
It's like BRICS, yes.
Yes, but here is the problem with the Russia. The problem is not like those Ukraine must not join NATO. Now it's in economical power, right?
Yeah.
Russia understand the resources we as Russian have and the Ukraine are more the same. When you talk about the ammonia, they also have it.
Oh, so once Ukraine join NATO, then those gonna start supplying those countries that are in alliance with
the energies.
Oh.
They understand, Uri, now we are going to lose economical power because they were gaining economical power through supply, exporting
energy,
yes,
fuels.
Yes.
Now you spoke about the nitrate, what?
Yes, nitrate is also part of the gas.
Okay.
Yes. And then one thing they understand as Ukraine, they understand now they are going to boost their economy because all those countries fall under NATO. They are going to depend on them.
Yeah, they're going to source their energies from NATO.
Yes,
they won't go to Russia anymore.
The problem to Russia is not like Ukraine is in NATO. Putin has analyzed the advantage of Ukraine to join NATO, because in NATO there is a law that if one of our own has been invaded, we go and support.
Sure.
So we have good relationship. We share things. So, and the other problem that Putin have, that USA wants NATO, Ukraine join NATO, which means they're going to build the military base in what? In Ukraine.
Ukraine. Yo.
What happened when you build the military base? It's become more easy to invade Russia.
There's going to be a war, Chief. Russia is like the biggest military in the world.
Yes, they may have the biggest military in the world, but fighting, war.
It requires strategies.
It requires strategies and strength. And a supply of ammunition. If you don't have enough supply of ammunition, you are not going to win the war. If you don't have good strategies, of invading your opponent, you are not going to win the war. And now it become the vision of Russia. The main aim was them to say we are going to invade Ukraine within 4 days or 6 days. But because now it's becoming more hard because Ukraine is retaliating against what? Russia. So they need to fight.
Now it's a war and it's affecting everybody.
It's a war which is affecting everybody. And the problem now is when there is issue like that, it's the people that suffer the most.
Obviously.
Is the people are dying and people are begging for mercy.
Oh, sure.
We have 2 European players who have been who die because of there is this building which was bombed recently. It has killed so many people there in it. And the European people they are saying we are not going to bang down. They are not going to allow Russia to invade Kyiv because that's the capital of Ukraine. They are not allowing them to invade.
Obviously, once they invade the capital city, it's done.
They are done. And they don't want that.
Yeah, the same applies if whatever country come and invade Union building, we're doomed.
We are doomed.
We're doomed. So, hey.
That's the heart, that's the center of everything.
That's where everything starts. Like, everything has to go through the capital city.
And you must not forget that Russia, it's a communist country. It's a dictator. You don't have rights like in democracy, right? You don't have freedom like in democracy where you do everything you want as you please. It's like North Korea. It's one and the same thing, and China. They depend in communalist. So you must know that government of dictatorship, they want to overthrow everything. They don't care. Everything. They get opportunity, they take everything. Now they understand that. Now I myself, when I do my own analysis according to my understanding, I think that the main reason for Russia to fight Ukraine was because they wanted to join NATO and the relationship they have before because of this what's so-called Soviet Union. But when then I sit down, I realize that it's like South Africa and Zimbabwe. The resources in South Africa and Zimbabwe are more likely the same. There's not more different in
gold.
They got. So I realized that Russia has been playing a big role in supplying with energy and gas. So they understand that now we are going to lose economically battle. And now we must come up with an excuse of starting a war. with starting a war. And now they've put nuclear in place. Russia.
Hey, it's tough, Buffett.
It's tough.
It's critical.
People are going to die. If these 2 countries they don't come in terms like or they agree on one thing, people are still gonna die. People don't want war. It's our greedy political leaders who want everything, who want to be in power forever, who want to rule everything. People don't want that. People want to live in harmony. When we talk about segregation of human according to the color of the skin, it was not general people who come with that ideas. It was people who are in power come with those kind of ideas. People want to live in harmony. People want to live in peace. And the one thing that Russia is threatening Africa, Russia has played a role in apartheid time.
Yes. They help South Africa apparently.
Most of the soldiers trained that side.
Yes.
And even now we still have good relationship because of the BRICS.
Also, when Naledi Pandor said South Africa must go and try to intervene there.
No, he's not saying like physically or to spike a war. No, he didn't.
No, I thought they were going to send our troops there.
No, they are not going to send our troops there. Why? What was the reason? We still have good relationship with Russia. We are not fighting with Russia. BRICS, you know those 5 countries in BRICS. They have good relationship. So Tina mainly, if you check our supply, it's all about China, India, Brazil, Russia
as well.
and us as 5th. It's BRICS.
It's BRICS.
And it's like we joined late ourselves.
In South Africa, that's why and the S is at the end of BRICS.
Yes.
South Africa.
Yes. And one thing I want to emphasize is that, you know, as South African, we must not get involved in Europe
Issues.
Issues. Or those people, we must understand that it's our opportunity to boost our economy. When things like this, when war is a spike, you know, it's our opportunity as African to boost our economy, because there's advantages in war. There's a need of ammunition supply. It's not for free. When you supply with other things and stuff, it's not for free. You are boosting your economy by so doing. So there is a good advantage on that.
True.
You see, when hunger strike in Africa,
We supply.
those people at USA, they have chance to rob us, to take our minerals and also ever to supply us with food and all the stuff. Tina will be thinking like those people are generous, but because they have their own mission and vision. So the very same thing, it's our turn. Let those Europeans, Asians, countries, South American fight. It's not our problem, but it's our time for us to relax and build something positive for our country.
And the other thing, like the other reason why we shouldn't get involved in this, in their things, is the fact that when we have wars in Africa, in the African continent, they just fold their arms and just.
And they're the one who are encouraging this war. If you go to if you go to Ghana now and check how the living condition it is. There are illegal minings, right? Illegal minings which run by Chinese. Right? And they are raping and killing our sisters and brothers. And the very painful part is that the police who are supposed to protect us, they are taking bribe for those people. And they're the one who cause havoc. When you see the Burundi, the Congo war is not stopping. You see, it's because of those people. They've been spiking war. They understand now it's time to make money.
They don't even intervene like to stop the war.
No.
All they do, they just put fuel on the fire.
Yes, that's what they do because they want to benefit. You know, now I'm very happy. Like country like Mali now. Mali said France must remove their military base in their country.
Sure.
And French is no longer be taken as a medium language of communicating in Mali. They are ruling out those nonsense. And I hope other African country to follow their lead.
You know, Julius Malema once said this thing of removing English as the medium of expression. Why don't you use one African language that will be communicated across all African countries? It was suggested that Swahili would be the most convenient. Because French is not South African.
Why Swahili? Why Swahili?
Because we have people who speak Swahili in South Africa, we have people who speak Swahili in Mozambique, we have people who speak Swahili in Ghana, we have people who speak Swahili in different countries. So it will be easier to spread it around. As if we decide to say Zulu or Venda, it's going to be a mission. So
yeah, but
those who speak Swahili...
It will also spark a conflict.
How so?
You know, when those white people impose their language to us, they do it in a forceful manner.
It was a systematic way of controlling people.
Yes. So the very same thing, the way it have to done, there won't be a good resolution for that kind of matter.
Yeah, it won't. Even if we transition from that to that Kiswahili, for example, it won't be a peaceful transition.
You know.
No, people are going to die. A lot is going to happen. But hey, man, hey.
The only thing that we African have a problem is to fight corruption. And how do we fight corruption? We must encourage our youth not to take bribe from other countries. Our leaders, our so-called leaders, they are influencing the thing that we are facing today, that our youth have that attitude that we can't make it. Do you understand? Everything is all about white. White are the people who can make it.
Fuck white people.
I've met with several people who said agricultural is for example, is for white people. They are the one who can manage it.
Rubbish, garbage.
That's why I'm always saying and emphasize that until we rule our way of thinking in our mind, is then we can start waking up and start something. We can start something now and not hoping the result for tomorrow, maybe for the decade or century.
Exactly.
Like that's how change apply.
We play the long game.
Let's talk about Japan when they face Vietnam, when they face war, where there was war.
I don't know.
Now Vietnam, in terms of economics, they are doing well. They are doing well. Even Japan, when Hiroshima, when USA bomb, throw atomic bomb in Hiroshima, they recovered very well after that. After those wars, why are we not Africa? After the oppression we faced to white people, are we not recovering still up to date? Why?
I get where we're sleeping. We're taking money from the same white people who oppressed us.
Yes, and the very same leaders that are leading us today, the very same leaders, they're the one who sell us. We kill prominent leadership like Thomas Sankara, Muammar Gaddafi,
hey, Chief.
Patrick Lumumba. You know Patrick Lumumba. We kill a lot of people who are willing to die for Africa, who are willing to change Africa without depending on European country.
Hey, you are schooling me today, Chief.
Check today where we are.
It's a problem.
We must not talk about hunger. Hunger is not an issue. Hunger is the state of creature which was created by white people and our so-called leader.
Look at what Mugabe did. Chased away all the European miners with their resources. Like, you can keep your resources, I'll keep my Zimbabwe. If all African countries had the attitude Mugabe had, I think Africa would be a better continent than it is right now.
Economically, but Zimbabwe did suffer because economy is controlled by Europeans and white people. I don't want to lie about that.
Yes, that's why after chasing them, things started going south.
Yes, they are no longer going support to other countries. But if, as Africans, we start strategizing early.
Why don't we sell among ourselves?
Yes.
Depending on the Western.
We have enough resources. Even nuclears, some other African countries do have nuclear.
And man, my problem is like why don't we stop? I know it's gonna be like practically impossible, but why don't we stop importing major things from the European countries and just produce in our land? Because like we import food, talking about chicken, meat, what else? Because we have the resources here. We have gold. We have all the minerals you can think of. Why don't you process those things and then export them instead of them going there, processed and then come back and then we buy them expensive? That's rubbish. It's bullshit.
They make us believe that on our own we can't make it. Those European, those Boers, those white Afrikaners, they are being supported by European Union outside there.
Obvious.
They're getting money to the European Union. Whenever they produce product, they need to send it back there. They already have the connection. But if we ourselves have the connection within ourselves here, as Africans,
yes.
We were not talking about Burundi facing starvation. Do you know there are countries which is eating mud? Do you know that?
Yeah.
There are countries, you know, in Burundi, we have high rainfall.
Yeah.
High rainfall, and compare Ethiopia and Somalia. Somalia, most of the life they live in desert, but they are not suffering with food there. Why is Burundi, which have many resources in terms of high rainfalls and all these resources, the gold and the land, you can name it all, the cobalt, that one used to make phone, you know, there's a cobalt which they also have that thing. But why are they the most country who are the poorest of the all countries in the world? They bail the GDP, it's around, it's not even more than 6 billion, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not sure about that. But it's suffering, starvation, war, but there are resources that have been taken, they have been taken out
country, and then
then what we call United Union. What is it United Union is doing to make sure that Burundi it's enhanced in terms of technology? The only president that I still respect up so far is Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda. He's doing a lot of change in that country. He has brought a refining machinery for gold. Now, if you can able to refine gold now, you can make jewelries, and then you sell that side. So now you are selling it in a high price.
Yes.
Instead of they take our gold here and transport it to Europe, and they refine it, and they brought it here back as a ring, as a necklace, as anything, and it costs us triple or maybe more than that the price.
I don't know. I hate the system.
Our leaders, our so-called leaders, we praise so much. You know, now myself, the media has played a big role in deceiving our people, our community leaders, our so-called people we trust in. It has played a role because they just brought a people there and they start marketing him. Because we are deceived, we are desperate for change. We tend to believe in everything they say. Yeah. There is Operation Duduza, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's something like that in Joburg. Those people, they're no longer waiting for the leader to what to say. They are cleaning the street.
Themselves.
You
see, that's what we need.
That's what we need.
That's what we need.
We have young people who are willing to venture in technology, in new technology, coming with new innovation. But for the lack of the support, you know, South Africa, they don't support, I'm talking about my country, they don't support research. They don't fund those things of people who are doing research. They don't fund them. We adapt to other people's research from Europe.
Now, I think the reason why they don't support research is because your research might be good to a point where that is going to replace whatever system that was placed to blindfold us not to see the bigger picture. I don't know if I'm making sense. Yes. Obviously, if you're going to remove something that is paying me, I'm going to have a problem with you. So I must just make sure that you don't even get to a point where you invent something that will replace something that is paying me.
Yes, that is why myself, I always ask myself, what is freedom without economical power?
It's nothing.
As a black people.
It's nothing.
Because still we are still suffering. We are living in a shanty town. We are living our life mercilessly.
I think we have the freedom of movement. We're not liberated.
No.
They lied to us and said we are free. We are not free. We just have the freedom of movement. While we're still talking about the leadership and everything, I had Venda Tabani yange zanale mphephu obewa khosi faredi saizi vachivolindela orhuna ngiwe khosi ya vukuma ine ati dizori volindela mini because ari vatevelela diva zwa kale. There is the person who supposed vamdivori ndi nyemuthu nakote vakhosi vadivori ndi nyemuthu nakote vakhosi because In 20, I forgot the year that this thing was taken to court, when they were contesting that Masindi can't be the king, because their argument was that she can't be the king because she's a woman, and the court was like, come on, you can't decide whether someone can be a king or not based on their gender. Your argument is baseless. So now I heard David Japan Ramabulana is there as a regent. He was the advisor of Toni for the longest time. Again, we know that Toni was dethroned by the Constitutional Court, and then apparently they stripped off all his benefits, from your security, the salary, the cars, and all that. Now he's just a nobody. I hate to say this, but he's just a regular person like any other person. So I don't know why they are delaying this thing of like inaugurating the right person, because they know who that person is.
For me, that issue, according to the culture, to the tradition and custom of our own tradition, it is true, women are not supposed to lead. But let's check in the era that we are living in now. It's a democracy era. Equality, where women have 50-50 chance to stand for anything.
But they have proven that they can be. They can do exactly what men does.
Yes, but not 100% like they can. I'm not against that.
Can you please elaborate on that, Chief?
There are certain things that women can't do.
How many women are CEOs of the biggest?
No, it's not about CEO. When now you are talking about big position, I'm not against that. I agree, it's something that we must go to education and then we learn about it. But not 100% women has been.
We have female president. Which country in Africa? Which country is it where they have a female?
Tanzania.
Yeah, they have a female president.
That one, she was the deputy president of the late.
But she is the president, right?
She didn't consent for that. It was because of the reason was because of the former president has died.
Masindi is also not contesting. It's her birthright.
It's her birthright.
Exactly.
Yes, but we must not forget about the tradition. At the same point, when we are challenging this, for myself, I don't like Toni for what he did. Let me be honest with you. I don't like Toni for what he did.
What did he do exactly?
For what he did,
no,
no, I don't like that thing. I don't like him personally. That's why now I can agree with like Yuri. Masindi can be our next king. Why am I saying queen? Let's not say king. Queen. Why am I saying so? Or I don't like Toni.
The Queen of England.
Yes.
She's been the queen for the longest time.
Yeah, that one, it's normal according to the culture.
It can be
in
normal.
Our culture,
you can normalize it even here.
No, I know a woman, even in Chauru, Chaboa, Chakotiamsadze. It's a woman leading that side.
What's the problem with
No, it's not a problem, but according to the culture, we are talking about the culture, referring to the culture. Sure. Women are not supposed to lead men. According to the culture. Here I'm not talking about the democracy or the constitution, what the constitution say. I'm talking about the culture.
The tradition.
The tradition. That's where I'm sticking in, like, women are not, what they are saying is right. But it's not the rightful, it's not the fact, it's an opinion for now because because of the constitution things and the democracy say,
Chief,
culture is no longer standing a chance for democracy.
It does.
It does, but in check now.
It does, but I think the moment you say women can't lead, you are discriminating.
No, I'm not discriminating. I'm talking about the culture. That's the fact.
It's a prejudice, my friend.
But that's the fact. Is it not the fact that women are not supposed to lead men by your culture?
No, no, Chief. No. I mean, we evolve as people.
Yes, we involve, but let's stick to the original culture, what you know.
Yes.
Yeah, what we know.
No, Chief.
What we know.
Okay. Since when you want to stick to the like origin of black people, why don't you walk around naked? Because black people used to.
They didn't walk up naked.
You evolved.
We were evolving. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
We were evolving. We don't talk about. I mean, when you talk about involve, we are talking about evolution.
Yes,
evolve. And in here we're not talking about evolution. We are talking about the law. What I can emphasize on, I don't have a problem with women leading.
Yeah.
And I will never have a problem with that. But what I'm saying, I was saying based on the culture, on the tradition. It is a norm. It's something that we've get used to. When we grow up, it's what they told us. There are things that we have inherited, the lifestyle, the how we live, the food we eat. You know, yourself, you do, according to your culture, you don't eat snake. But because we are involving, as you said, we are also eating snake in other countries. You see? But according to our culture, it's not allowed that.
It's not.
Yes.
But I don't know why they're playing the delaying tactic to elect an inaugurate. Let me not say elect. People don't get elected to inaugurate the rightful king.
It takes time, you know. These things of royal thing.
Come on.
Realize that it's not a thing. It's not an easy matter. That's why you must understand.
It's not an easy matter because there's a woman involved.
No, it's not because of the woman. There is always fight in everything. There is always fight.
She won the case of the constitution.
Yes, she won constitutionally.
That's why Toni was dethroned.
What did the constitution say?
They said Toni
the family must, Toni is dethroned, but the family must discuss the matter and the way forward. Who is supposed to be, who is the rightful?
Yeah, but if we're following the culture and the tradition, she is the rightful king. Because her father, who was Chimangazo Dimbanyika, was supposed to be he died. And I don't know, I think he didn't have a son. And then she's there now. That's why she's supposed to be the king.
Yes, I'm not disagreeing with you based on that. But we don't just say, now because the court has finalized the issue, boom, you are the next king.
Yeah, but
there are procedures that need to be followed.
They've been talking about it for how long?
Culturally.
This ruling has been there for it's about 2
Sangoma need to get involved in that.
Sangoma to do what?
It's a tradition. You don't just be a king. A king is not things. It's not a. Don't confuse
chieftaincy and king
and politics and it's a two different thing. That's where you get confused. Most of the people. You want to mix politics and chiefnary thing. Or and kingship thing. That thing is not the same. It's not the same. Right? You must understand that they are not the same. Politics are politics and are full of corruptions. And that's where Toni make a mistake.
Or he makes politics.
He makes politics with kingship.
Yeah.
And now what happened?
Remember the Japan.
You see, you know what happened to the VBS? Our forefathers, our grandfathers, our ancestors, they've invested their pension money to that bank for the Venda people. And it was growing. Remember, Venda people play clubs, societies, and all the things. That thing was building that bank very fast and quick. And then I heard these rumors that, the CEO of VBS was earning more than the CEO of FNB. That's a madness. If it is true, it's a madness. Why is it a madness? It is a madness because it's a growing bank. It's a mutual bank.
It's a mutual bank for that matter.
For that matter, it's still growing. It has not reached that stage that like FNB, ABSA, Nedbank.
It was earning more than Michael Jordan, the most experienced banker in,
The enemy of black is not white in most cases. It's black who are allowed to be bribed by white people to destroy his fellow brothers and sisters.
That's true.
We have become a thorns in our own flesh.
These people are all those people who are corrupt. They get exposed to things that they've never been exposed to before. And then They make sure that they give them things that they've always wanted in their lives. We all want money. We always want to live comfortable. So they give you money, you go buy your big house. They give you money, you go buy your big car. They give you money, take your children to the most expensive schools. You wear flashy clothes. You have everything that you've thought you've ever wanted. Now, when you have all those things, they put your back against the wall. You do as they say because they built you.
You have everything. You have the resources. Why is money controlling you now? Why money has brought a lot of confusion?
They gave you the money.
You. They gave us the money.
Yes.
But if you think as a black person in a broader level, you will understand that this is more than money.
It's bigger than money, well, it's
yes.
True. It's true.
You are selling the struggle. You are selling out the struggle of what Christianity. They didn't die for this thing. They were fighting. Or we must have a peaceful land where we own our own land. Today, black people don't own land. Today, white people own more than 80% of land.
And they are the minority.
They are the minority in that case. We are not saying we want war. We want what was taken to us by force
to be given back.
To be given back without any compensation.
Yeah, they were not compensated again when they took it.
Yes, I like when Malema was being the court for Afro-Forum, you know. Yeah, they recently.
So we're running out of time. Like, make it quick.
Yeah, the court of Afro-Forum.
Sure.
Then he was asked. He asked the judge or the lawyer. I don't think it's the judge because we're saying, my lord, if I inherited a stolen good
yeah.
to my father, what does that make me?
A criminal.
A criminal. Even though I sell that property and I use that money to buy another property, it is still a stolen money.
Exactly what we're saying.
So that's what we're talking about.
He just wanted them to take responsibility.
Why do they want to play a victim in this scenario? And they are not the victim. We are the victim.
That was the first time I saw Malema emotional. Like, why don't you take responsibility for once? For the crime.
We don't need apology. That's where it was wrong. It was not discipline. We don't need apology. We need what rightfully belonged to our forefather and our ancestors back to us in our hand. We don't need the apology. The only way to apologize is to give us what belongs to us.
We'll have a separate show for this discussion because this man is going on and on.
Oh, good.
Because yeah, and then we're running out of space, running out of entry, and then yeah, we will see you in the next episode of the Venda podcast. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for supporting us. We really appreciate your support. And then we'll keep giving you the content. I'm mphephu, and don't forget to subscribe. Like our page on Facebook. It's the Venda podcast. I'm mphephu Mphephu on Facebook. mphephu_Mphephu on Instagram. mphephu_Mphephu on Twitter. Voila. Where can people find you on social media, man?
Just simple. Like a given or Mosega trade preach. That's where you can find me.
It's a wrap.